If you're a high achiever that is struggling with entrepreneurship, this may be the reason why. And the thing is that, especially if you come from corporate, the things that you were validated for, like your knowledge, being the one answering all the questions, being the ones that never took risk, are very different from the things that you are rewarded now as entrepreneurship. And this may be that you don't have all of the answers. This may be dealing with uncertainty. This may be even looking a little bit silly before you actually start succeeding. And the thing is that your identity for so many years has been attached to something else that whenever now you're playing in a different game, there's a little bit of a conflict and you're not realizing. And you think it's strategy, but at the end of the day, the biggest shift and the biggest thing that is going to help you is doing this mindset shift. And this is why I'm doing this series, which is actually talking about the things that I wish I knew about whenever I did the transition, because I was getting a little bit stuck, especially at the beginning, and I didn't know why. I'm thinking, I'm doing the same strategy that we all learned from the same coach, and how come they're flying, and I'm still here playing small and kind of a little bit stuck in the same place. I'm running in a treadmill. And then I had the big aha, oh, wait, I come from a different background. And I realized that there's an identity work and a mindset work that I need to do. And that's what it was. So I decided to do this 3 series video, really pretty short. The first one, I did it last week. Make sure you check that video. I'm going to go with the second one and finishing it up next week with the last one. Just put a little bit lacito, un bow. Is that how you say it in English? I think at the end. So I hope that you find this series very helpful. And this is something that you want to share with your friends that are going through the same journey. Please do so. Okay, so let's start with the limiting belief number 4, because we did the first 3 last week. And I'm looking at my notes here. And the first one, oh goodness, this one, external validation versus internal validation. See, when you're corporate, how do you get rewarded? You get rewarded by the promotions, by the salary increases, whenever they give you, I don't know what's the mechanism to reward you for additional good work. It can be these additional spotlight points or inspire points or, hey, add a girl, employee of the month, all of that stuff, right? So it's all external, meaning that you don't have control of it. People decide if they want to validate you. And then you're just waiting and almost like performing, waiting for that big applause that people are waiting and saying, you go. And the funny thing, perhaps if you are a senior leader in corporate, you know that they hire you go. That goes a little bit even that kind of minimizes, but still you're working for that next thing, that validation. But the thing is that it comes externally and then you don't even realize it the whole time you're waiting. And if that's not coming, then you think there's something wrong with you. And you keep working, and performing harder for others to notice you. Now, in entrepreneurship, it's going to be a long, long, long time until you get that first. Wow, cool. You have to be so in love with your vision, with your client, with the problem that you're solving. I thought somebody was mowing the grass. Never mind, that's the airplane. I'm outside. It's a beautiful day today. I love it. We're going to wait for the airplane. All right, so I'm gonna go back for the entrepreneurship. You have to be so in love with your vision, with your client, with how you're adding value, the problem that you're solving, that you don't have to rely on that applause from somebody else, right? It has to come from internally. And that's the thing. That's why I don't like whenever people say, oh, wow, she's so lucky, or the whole phrase, overnight success. Wow, this year you're killing it. And they don't know that you've been working so hard perhaps many years before that. But it's like all these actions, small actions compound over time. And that's something I'm going to be talking about actually next week, about the compounding on actions and how things are not necessarily linear, but we'll talk about that next video. So how do you get really anchored into your internal vision and mission? Is, I say it's simple, but a lot of people don't do it. And it's that you need to attach a big, meaningful, deep why as to why you're doing this. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But if you have a meaningful why around the impact that you're having in your community, in your client, the freedom that this is giving you, the opportunity for you to be more present with your family, with your spouse, with your parents, with your kids, the ability that now you have to, break that limit, that threshold that you perhaps had before from a monetary perspective. And now you're going to be able to do even more, experience life more, contribute more at your highest capacity. So if you really don't get at the surface level, I'm just tired of my boss, right? Or like, I don't like corporate, which actually none of those were my reason. For me, I actually fell in love with my my business. And that's why I decided to do the transition, because I was splitting time. And then I said, okay, what will happen if I go all in on the business and I have higher impact? But whatever your reason is, then really, really reflect on that journal. I love journaling, and think about why is this so powerful and important, and let that be your validation, and don't wait for people to say, hey. Oh, and bonus, don't get trapped in this whole, like I call it vanity with a V, vanity metrics about the likes, the shares, the people commenting. Social media, that, yeah, that can be good info when people are saying, hey, that's exactly what I needed to hear and things like that. But at the end of the day, those are vanity metrics. Don't get stuck in the, oh, that didn't get likes, so that means that there's something wrong. Don't get stuck with that. Okay. That's another game. But when I'm talking about validation, it has to be way, way deeper and more meaningful than just those vanity metrics. Okay. Number one, two, three, four, five. Expert thinking versus beginners thinking. And this is actually something really, I don't know, empowering in my mind. And there's like a little bit of a freedom, because you don't have to be the expert. Actually, you will never be the expert on anything, because as fast as things are growing, not only, and the things that you don't have control, yes, perhaps AI is the one thing that is in your face the whole time and it's just making change. Not even faster, it's just exponential. But things change, culture change, even the way people listen and engage and buy, all those patterns change. You're working with people that are unpredictable. So you always have to have this beginner's mindset. But the thing is that when you're corporate, you're rewarded to be the expert. The more you grow, right? You're rewarded because you're the expert of that area. I mean, you have heard that whole topic about being the subject matter expert. And whenever you do the transition, there's a little bit of uncomfortability. And if that's not a word, I just came up with one. Because you're used to be very knowledgeable of your craft, and now you're starting something that, yeah, is new. Remember, you're not starting from zero. You bring a lot of skills that you learn here, but yeah, you may be more of a beginner's mindset when it comes to the business, the sales, or the marketing, or maybe that was your craft, so that is more of the operational side, the way you interact with the clients, social media. There's going to be an element that is new for you, and be comfortable with that. Be excited. Remember, the whole purpose of life is to continue to grow. So you are growing, you're working, continue to grow, and up leveling you, your identity, and your impact. So my point here is that don't let that uncomfortable feeling about, oh, I'm just a beginner, I'm just, forget this whole I'm just, like, remove that. You're in the game and you are working with everything you bring from corporate and learning something new that makes you even more powerful. So don't let that make you play small, thinking that I'm still not knowledgeable, I'm still not the expert. I see that so much, especially entrepreneurs that come from corporate, that they're like, oh, I should not charge that much because I'm still not the expert. I should not do this because I'm not the expert. Hey, remember all the experience that you bring. Okay, it may not be everything that you actually need, but you're never going to be at the point that you have everything that you need. Okay, so that's a very powerful one. And one of the ones that, again, especially in my first year, I was playing so small. I will see all these people that had many more years in entrepreneurship experience, and seeing, I'm just a rookie, and that made me play so small at the beginning that I don't wish that for you. So come with excitement. I'm not saying now to pretend that you know it all. That's not the thing. But yeah, you just come with a different background. That's it. You're not starting from zero. There's things that you're gonna learn, but there's so many things that you bring with you that perhaps a lot of the people around you they don't have, and that's how you can add value. So think about that one. The last one that I'm going to talk about today here is the whole thing about be comfortable with uncertainty. Oh, goodness, that's a big one. And the thing is that in corporate, you are rewarded to not take a lot of risk, right? Because if that risk goes wrong or goes in the wrong direction, who is that going to be reflected on? You. And that's not going to be muy bueno in the performance review. So taking a lot of risk in corporates is something that you perhaps are not used to. And even if you take risks, it's all about, like, show me the data. And you need to wait until all the data is there to support that risk that you are taking. And if you've been in corporate long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in here, you have to be okay with uncertainty, and just have that bias for action. I'm not saying go crazy now, loco, and go like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I feel like and whatever the universe is telling me right now. That's not it. But it's more of a calculated risk. yeah, but you have to go a little bit faster. And in this world, you may not have all of the data. Actually, if you wait for all of the data, you're already late. So this whole thing is about how to feel uncomfortable with things that are uncertain. And I actually just made a video not that long time ago about decision making. Make sure that you follow that one, because it's just gonna give you the tools that you need, especially when you feel when you feel stuck making a decision between different options. Honestly, that's the best powerful framework that I have. Make sure you follow that video. I'm gonna also put it on the description so it's better for you to find it. But going back, you have to be okay with uncertainty and look at the data that you have at the moment. We have another airplane. Yay! Look at the moment that you have, understand the pros and cons, understand where you're at, understand your outcome, and then boom. And the thing is that you're gonna make the decision, you're gonna move forward, and you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn fast. This is a new game that you don't wait for things to be perfect, right? Perhaps in corporate, you need things to be very polished before you move forward. Even when they tell you, hey, it doesn't have to be polished, expectations are here for you at least to be at an A, okay? Maybe not A plus plus plus, but expected in here, no. If you wait for things to be perfect, you are losing the game. So it's a different mindset. It's a different mindset. So and now you understand. And these are only the second three that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to wrap up in the next video with the last three, and probably one of the most powerful one, which is the difference between a linear world and a nonlinear world. But for now, please tell me in the comments what really resonated with you. What was the, that's why I'm getting stuck in this pattern? Because honestly, it's okay. Don't get worried. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just awareness. And now that you're aware of it, then start working on that. Okay, you're doing a mindset shift. This is what worked in corporate, but now in this entrepreneurship journey, I need to think differently. And I get to create all this different, beautiful journey for me and the people who are going to be benefiting from it because of it. So, hey, I'm here to empower you. I'm focusing here on this whole transition for you to create the life that you want, because a lot of the things that I talk about here on my channel are things that perhaps I didn't learn when I did my transition. And maybe I learned from a lot of big names, because I had Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, a lot of like big names, Dan Martell, that were coaches of mine and forever appreciated. But sometimes the bigger you are, sometimes you forget how it feels, that transition where you're finally starting and leaving something that was your life, was your identity for so many years. And now you feel, wait, this is something new. What's wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with you. So I'm actually focusing on that transition at this time of my chapter, and I want to help you. So please, if this is something that helps you, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you let me know in the comments, so that way I know that I'm working on something that it can help you. And also share away, share away. We need more role models out there. I want to start unlocking, I call unicorns, people who have that beautiful energy like yours, and perhaps you feel like, oh, I feel like trapped in this box. Break the box, and live the life that you are meant to live. All right. Until now, my name is Jenny Lopez. I was a very successful corporate executive leader for 23 years in corporate world, Fortune 500. I was a professional dancer also for 25 years, which is sometimes you see me dancing in social media. And now I have this beautiful business of mine for 6 years now, where I am really empowering people like you to also create the life that you want, as a motivational speaker and also as a coach and the creator of Intentional Unicorn and the Dream Makers community. So if any of that resonates with you, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Adios, cuídense, high five.